Depending on how long this vlog is for this week, this footage may or may not make the cut, and if not, I'll put it in next week because I'm really excited to take you guys along with me on my Saturday errands. Excited because we're going to actually go buy a matting and hopefully a cute frame to put this in and then hang this in my bedroom. My daughter did this for me over the summer, like after I moved here. She wanted to make me a piece of art and I was like, absolutely. And now I am finally going to hang it. I actually found 2 vintage stores in St. Pete that I want to go and check out. And I've nailed down, like, I think I want to get a dresser for the living room because it'll have a lot more like storage than just a regular TV stand. It'll have a lot more like compartmentalized like storage. And I've just been struggling a lot in my like bathroom area because I feel like I just need more storage, and hopefully I can kind of reorganize and refigure so that way I can like have the products in my bathroom accessible to me when I need them for what I need them for, and other things can go to the living room, that dresser thing. On Amazon, I just ordered another one of the pillows to go, like the insert to go into the sham that I have for my bed. I returned the flat one. And I ordered a record player! I'm so excited. I want to start creating, like, cultivating these, like, chill mornings. I want to get some jazz, like, old-timey jazz, like, no words or anything. Or maybe I might get, like, some Etta James and, like, mix it up a little bit. But I'm thinking, like, just some jazz music. I can make tea or coffee in the morning. And I can kind of, like, cultivate these like nice mornings for myself after my chaotic dog walks in the morning before the work week, and also just like a Saturday morning, I'm eating my breakfast, I'm listening to jazz, I'm reading a book. Like, I wanted to create those vibes and those moments within my life that are a little bit on the slower pace side to kind of balance out all the chaos of life. I forgot to tell y'all that I got an entire book about like how to heal like gum disease, and when reading it last night, I only got to like chapter 2, but I think I have gingivitis. I've self-diagnosed myself, and I really think it stems from the overconsumption of sugar that I always do. But for some reason, and maybe I need to go back to therapy, probably, like I always turn to sugary sweets whenever I am like stressed. And I also know that that in itself, like besides it just being bad for your body and your oral health or whatever, but I notice that when I overconsume sweets, I also feel very like chaotic within myself. Like my behavior is kind of irrational, my thought process is kind of irrational, and I've really tried to like contain that. But living in that roommate apartment situation last year was like really detrimental to my mental health, and I started to like self-soothe myself with sweets. And I quite literally know that I probably do not have periodontal disease after reading just 2 chapters. I think I have gingivitis, and I just like need to lay off the sweets. Even like I'm not even doing coffee, like, because I tried so many times to have coffee without any sugar. And also I think coffee just in general probably isn't good for us, but can I have one vice in this lifetime? I would like to go back to having at least coffee. We'll see. I'm not getting rid of my nice little espresso machine yet. My espresso machine was actually one of the cheapest ones, so if I had to get rid of it, I wouldn't die. I think I only spent like $100. I've had it for like almost a year now, but I think I just need to really like hone in on like my health, and I just really need to get to a place in my life where I don't go back to eating sugar, because if I have no sugar, like I'm fine. Like I can look at candy and whatnot in the store and be fine. But if I start to have like any little bits of sugar, then I get to this place where it's a snowball effect. I have like one little chocolate, and then before you know it, I'm like eating sweets three or four times a week, and like picking out and on sugary stuff and whatnot. So if I can like contain my sweets to like a pump of something in my coffee in the morning and just contain it to that, like that would be really good. But for now I'm just gonna lay off all sugar. And then I'm also just going without fruits for a while because I just noticed that they were just irritating my gums. And so no fruits, no sugars, and no coffee, no nothing, just basically healthy foods. And I feel like in a few months, that's what the book was saying, is that by a few weeks, if I did really diligently eat healthy, that my like gums would start to like feel better and look better and be better. So, and of course, you know, you can't just revert back to your old ways, and it might even take a little bit longer to be like 100% better. But I think I just have gingivitis, which is, I know, really gross, because I definitely wake up with like a bad taste in my mouth, so I know I have bad breath. But I'm doing what I can. It's just like, life is hard enough as it is already, and you know, I'm trying to find better ways to cope and, you know, also just distract myself. But I feel like I'm also in a much better place. Like, the best thing I did for myself was moving to Florida and also getting out of that roommate situation, which I had never been in a roommate situation before. Well, I had like many years ago, and it wasn't good for me then, and I don't know why I didn't learn my lesson, but it was something that I felt like I needed to do because I was selling my house and had a business and all of those like financial stressors, and being the only sole person that makes the money. Like, you have to do what you have to do when you have to do it, and sometimes you have to bite the bullet. And I feel like I probably should have just figured out how to do a roommate situation for a few months instead of signing a whole year lease, because it just wasn't good for myself. But I feel like I'm in a much better like mental space and like emotional space being here in Florida, and like figuring out this phase of my life and being in my own apartment, and like starting, even though it's hard to start from scratch in my apartment because, you know, that's expensive. It's nice to start from scratch because, you know, I got rid of a lot of things from my old life and I'm starting a new life. And I think that's just so, like, such a blessing, because I know not everybody gets to do that in their lifetime. And I feel like I've been so fortunate that I almost feel like I've reinvented myself more times than Madonna. This was the first little vintage store that I wanted to go into today, but they are closed. Well, that store behind me is closed, and the one in front of me is closed. Well, I decided to drive down the street because it looks really cool over here, and I am stumbling across a little boutique, so I thought I'd check it out. It's called Daydream. Look at how cool is this. Got toilets out there with plants. I think it might be a thrift store, but we'll see. I felt really weird, like, recording in there because it was just me and it was very tiny, but it ended up being what I would consider somewhat of a thrift store, because it said like local, well, maybe not, kind of. It said like local, the guy told me it was like local artists, a few, and they like put their stuff in there, but I think the clothing is like stuff that might be upcycled stuff. We made it to Hobby Lobby. We'll see if we can find I want to mat this and frame it, and we'll see if we can find what we're looking for in Hobby Lobby. Okay, does Hobby Lobby not have frames anymore? I'm not coming across them, but they have these gorgeous antique looking mirrors. Like that one is so cute, and I love the detail at the top. And I love that one in the middle right there.
Code 791, code 791.
This one, I'm really obsessed with this one as well. I'm just not, like, I want a mirror, but I don't really know what I'm going to do. So I'm trying to do one task at a time, and I want to focus on this right now. Okay, I'm really blind because the frames were like literally right behind where I was. But the only matting, like I want to mat this because I want it to look a little more not homemade, you know, and I feel like matting will elevate it. But the matting is only like in an off-white color. And I'm thinking white crisp will look really nice, and I'm thinking a gold frame. I would like something that looks vintagey, like patinaed a little bit. Let's go and see. Okay, this is definitely like, it doesn't really capture it very well in the camera, but this is kind of the vibe that I'm thinking. Okay, this is definitely a possibility. You can't really tell the details, but that's definitely a possibility. But I think we're gonna head to Michael's just to see what they have, because we can always come back to Hobby Lobby. Wait, do we like the white frame? I like the antique-y look of this. That gold looking one is really nice, but I think it's a little bit thicker than I kind of want. I don't know. We need some fuel before we head to Michael's because I'm kind of hungry and I'm on the verge of getting hangry. And I was like, yeah, I could go to Sprouts and get a sandwich. Or I could go to like Whole Foods and get the stuffed salmon like I had last night and go home and make that, and then it's a whole thing. Or I have a craving for a bagel, and I'm going to satisfy my bagel craving. Look at this bagel. Now, this bagel place has 5-star reviews. We're going to need to check to see if that's true. Okay, let's take the first bite. I have now found my favorite bagel place in Florida. Oh my gosh. Bagel is like got a crisp outside, you know, but it's not like too chewy, so it's not overdone. All right, round 2. Let's see what we can do. Okay, this is totally an option, and I'm actually really loving this because it's not like super bright gold, which is not what I wanted. I kind of wanted something like this. Okay, this frame I love, but obviously it's way too tiny, but like that would be divine. This might be too much of a hot take, and you guys might hit the unfollow button and hate me for this, but my hot take is men asking women for money. I don't know, maybe it stems, like, there's nothing innately wrong with that, but in my mind, how I was raised is that my dad was a provider, and I've always been a broke single mom, so I could never really help out people because I needed to help my own self, living off of food stamps and everything. But I don't know, I was just approached by a man in the parking lot and he wanted some money. I'm like, I'm a woman. You should go ask other men for money. Is that wrong? Hello friends, we are at Target this morning, needed a couple things, and I still need to hit up at Ulta or Sephora as well sometime this weekend. We do have Monday off tomorrow, so might go tomorrow. One thing about Target is a new skincare line is going to pop up every week, I feel like. Like, I thought Indeed is where we looked for jobs, not a skincare brand. And how are they getting away with this? I think it says Indeed something underneath. I have bad vision now. I'm staring at my phone, so I don't know what that says. So maybe that's how they're getting away with it. And then Selfless by Hiram. Oh, I've never seen this before in my Target. Like, where did that come from? Is it good? I don't know. I'm settling on this because it's only like $14. Next on the list is to get some new gloves. I love to use these in the shower for exfoliating, and the ones I have are these white ones, and they have seen better days. I don't even use self-tanner these days, and they look disgusting, so it's definitely time to get a new pair. Next thing you need is an iron, because Yeah, my duvet is way wrinkly and I just can't stand it. I have now become the girl that needs to iron her duvet when she makes her bed at the end of the week. So here we go, we're gonna get an iron. This is the one I'm going with. I think I have a steamer at home and I love it, but I just think that it's literally 7 or 8 years old. I think it just doesn't work horizontally anymore and it works vertically, so I think I just need a new steamer. And now we are done with our Target run and we're going back home to chill, okay, because it's Sunday and I want to be in my pajamas doing not much. I don't know what's up with Scout, but she has just been like, I mean, she always comes and hangs out with me, but she has been throwing her neck back this morning. I love it. I love to watch all the TikToks of like, I don't even know if these are professionals, but they'll say like what the body language of a dog is saying in a video, and I'm like, oh, Scout does that sometimes. That's what that means. I don't know if that's fact, but I think it is because I saw it on the internet. And I think Scout is just so relaxed and comfortable this morning, and I am loving that. I'm loving that. We don't get as much us time anymore now that I work outside of the home. So I love any time that I get to come and just relax on the couch with her and just hang out, vibe, cuddles, give her lovin's and pets. I'm obsessed. So I bought this steamer that you guys saw me buy today, and honest review, at least this one in particular that I bought, I'm not impressed. And if I turned it on and used it, I don't know if it would, like, if that sound would show up, but because it's hard to hear over the, like, steam of the machine. But for some reason, I plug it up, turn it in, turn it on. It doesn't matter if the tank is full to the brim or halfway empty or anything. I've tried to just let it sit there because maybe it needs to just do its thing for a couple times or two. But I plugged it up, turned it on, got the steam going, and it kept making like a, like it kept like chugging and kind of like a slight jerk to it. It wasn't anything crazy. Like you could just tell it was kind of jerky and like making kind of like a chugging sound. I can't make that sound. But I started thinking like, oh, you know what? I remember what was wrong with my old steamer like a couple years ago, and I was like, you know what? Let me go and basically you just pop this off, this little water tank, and below this water tank there's a little like, basically there's a hose that goes up to the top of the steamer. So what I did was just put compressed air into that little hose after I took the water tank off. And now I tried to use it like this because I like to use it on my bed. I'm not going to be using it like this on my bedding. And it seemed to work just fine. So I think I'm just going to end up returning that one, using the one that I have. I tried to get something new, but I don't think I actually need something new. So save myself about 60 bucks. At some point early this morning, Cat Scout came right up here. Wanted to lay her little head on my pillow. And now we're just cuddle bugs. I love it. This is I wish she would sleep like this every day. I love to cuddle. Gotta take Scout to go get her nails clipped. Welcome to Florida winters, where it's 44 degrees in the morning, but it's 79 degrees by the afternoon. Poor little Miss Scout. She's been over here watching me make food up from below. And she's very sleepy, it's looking. But I'm gonna go ahead and feed her dinner because it is 5 o'clock, so you want to go ahead and eat? Mommy gonna eat in a little bit. I let it broil maybe a minute or two too long, but it's not really burnt. It's just got a little bit of extra crispy crust. And I already cut a slice out on my plate over there, about to eat it. And it looks so good. Let's go taste test. Okay. The potatoes are so good. Time for a bite of the seafood stuffed salmon. Let's go in for one more bite just to be sure. It is so good, but I see a bone sticking out. That's the only bad thing about like seafood in general. Here she is in all her glory. She needs to be dusted. The drawers, hey baby, the drawers need to go back in, but I'm like, obviously it's very dusty in here. So I'm going to dust this off and can't wait, but I feel like it's gonna fit right in with like the aesthetic that we're trying to build over here. Minus the bike. I think eventually I'm gonna get a little like lock thing and just like keep it outside down below the stairwell. Thanks for hanging with us this week. We love you and we'll see you next week. Right?